Welcome, ticket scalpers, to Geek Salad episode 268. $800 for obstructed view. I'm Andy.
Value.
I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
And we kick off the summer tonight with our look at our favorite live albums. Also, we're kicking off the summer with my horrific summer allergies. So if you hear a lot of sniffling and whatnot, that's what that is. More so than normal.
It's not the Coke. It's not the Coke.
No, it is not. Oh, God, I wish it was the Coke. My God. No. It is.
You could quit that and make the pain stuff. Allergies.
And of course he means Coca-Cola, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
we're a family-friendly podcast.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hell, the other day, a friend of mine posted a picture of the Two Towers paperback from, like, I want to say maybe the late 70s, and it had, Legolas had a mullet, and I'm like, oh, that's nothing. See also the Galadriel from the Bashki Lord of the Rings, where she not only looks like she did a rail at Studio 54, but she also looks like that chick that OD'd at the pool party scene in Boogie Nights.
Yep.
So yeah, I threw a whole bunch of references at you here, and also to celebrate our discussion of favorite live albums, I decided I had to live the concert experience here by giving myself a bottle of beer, which it will probably cost about $18. So,
goddamn inflation!
Oh my God, it's not even inflation, Joe. I remember, like, you and I went to go see Foo Fighters a couple of years ago, and you would like, hey, I'm going to get a beer. Do you want one? And I was like, no, I'm good for now. Thank you. Maybe I'll grab one later on. And you came back and you're like, thank you for not taking me up on my offer.
Yes. And it wasn't even good beer. It wasn't like even like high-end beer either.
No, it was not. It was fairly bad, actually. So
yeah.
So we're going to be talking all about our favorite live albums tonight. We've got a list of stuff going on. We did have our friend Jim, who used to be one of the hosts of the show, was going to join us, but had some family stuff come up. Nothing bad, just family stuff. So I just want to bring up his pick right now before we get into our social media picks.
Quick
here,
Andy. Kurt is here with us, and he says, "Woo, summer allergies."
Ooh, yes, exactly. It wouldn't be a summertime podcast if I wasn't sniffling. Thank you, Kurt, for joining us. Oh, he's got some stuff. He's got a lot of stuff. But let's bring up Jim's real quick, because this does not tie in to one of your picks, Joe.
Yes, it's the same band, not the same pick.
Right. Jim brings up Queen live in Montreal. Now, I didn't get a chance to look at it yet, but do you know what year that one was?
I believe it was 1980, 81.
I'm taking a look right now. Yeah. Well, the release date was October 29th, 2007. So they had like a treasure trove of live albums. November. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual concert, I think, was in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
It was the 24th and 25th of November, 1981.
Yeah, I called it.
Yeah, so it pretty much had like all the stuff on there. Yeah, Let Me Entertain You, Someone to Love, Killer Queen, We'll Rock You, Play the Game. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah, it's classic Queen. It's very much classic Queen.
Would you say that this is where would you, and we can talk about this in a little bit, Joe, with your pick. But where would you say would be the height of Queen's powers? Would you say it was around this time because they just released all their huge hits? Okay.
Nope. And this kind of ties. I'm going to save it because this ties into my pick.
All right.
And it's not. My pick is. I'm not going to say that my pick is the peak of Queen's powers, but it's related to it in a way. So
gotcha.
we'll go into further discussion when you get to my pick.
And we might actually get to it earlier than you think, Joe, because going into our social media, first off, I do want to bring up our friend Everyday Steve Day brings up that his favorite live album is the official recording of the 1995 Drum Corps International Finals at Foxborough Stadium. I was in that crowd screaming for the Crossmen, so technically I'm a featured performer.
What?
Yeah. Steve was a band kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, he's making a joke. But then Kurt, who is on the call with us right now, had so many picks that he not only exceeded the Blue Sky character limit, he screenshotted for me. So we're going to go over these, and it does appear that was there one in here that was yours, Joe? I'm taking a look right now. No, it wasn't yours. It was somebody else's, or maybe no. Oh, it was one of your honorable mentions. Okay, so let's get started with the first one from Kurt. It's Alive. The Ramones during the Rocket to Russia tour during their best year for punk rock, 1977. I'm not going to dispute that at all. Ramones are. The Ramones are amazing because I think that they're a great live band, even though there's nothing spectacular about what they do live, other than the fact that it's one after the other. There was like no break in between the songs.
Well, the thing about listening to punk bands live is that there really isn't that much difference between what you hear on stage and what's recorded.
Yeah.
Just because the whole punk ethos is just raw, unfiltered, unproduced, just I don't want to say noise, but just let it all out there without having to produce it.
Right. It is a bunch of shredding 3-chord rock.
Just don't let them do your birthday party.
Sounds like you're begging for a sound drop, aren't you, Mike?
Why not?
All right, next up on Kurt's list is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the live anthology. Not an actual live album, but a collection of live performances spanning from the 70s to the 2000s. Fair enough.
And Kurt also adds here, my list was longer because I omitted Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison and Who's Got the 10.5 by Black Flag.
Ah, okay. Well, Folsom Prison is an interesting one anyway, because that is a legacy building album.
That is.
Yeah. There are very few artists that actually have a legacy building album, and that is one of them.
Legacy building and career defining.
Yeah, exactly. Jumping ahead, Kurt, I'm not skipping one. I'm jumping ahead on that same topic of legacy building. Cheap Trick, live at Budokan, the best version of I Want You to Want Me, Surrender, and their cover of Ain't That a Shame from Fats Domino was amazing. Honestly, if you cannot name a single Cheap Trick album, you can name Live at Budokan.
Well, I mean, that like you mentioned, that's on my honorable mentions.
Yes.
And it is the album that pretty much put Cheap Trick on the map.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird when you think about it, that okay, how does an American band who has no real radio presence go to Japan? And it's actually not. It wasn't recorded at Budokan. It was recorded in Osaka. But how does an American band with no real radio presence before then go to Japan and release? Record what will become one of the seminal live albums of the '70s. That again is legacy defining for Cheap Trick.
Yes, exactly. And the funny thing is that like the I Want You to Want Me, the singles version of that song is the Budokan version.
Yeah, well the studio recording of that song sucks. It is.
That's why whenever you hear it on the radio, you kick it off with I want you to want me.
Yeah. Well, it's I kind of rank live at Budokan on the same level as Peter Frampton Comes Alive, or Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah.
Because, and again, it's a legacy-defining album for a band or artist that never really had a lot of radio presence before that album came out.
Exactly. And interestingly enough, another one that Kurt brought up, Frampton Comes Alive, standard issue for suburbanites and people in flyover states, but it sounds amazing.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. And again, it's one of those things where, like the live version of what's the main single off that album?
Do You Feel Love?
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. The studio version of that song sucks.
I do love it when the live version is better.
It's way when.
All right, jumping back to one, I didn't really skip Kurt. I just wanted to tie into the conversation here. Kurt's next picks is Rush, All the World's a Stage, and Exit Stage Left. Rush in their home country during two of their best tours, the 2012 tour and the Moving Pictures tour. Rush has so many live albums. It's kind of hard to pick which one to go with. Like, I remember I had a Show of Hands, and I thought I played the shit out of that one. Speaking of Rush, did you guys see that Rush played the Kia Center in California last weekend?
Yeah, well, they're going to be at TD Garden this fall.
Yeah, I know, and I can't afford any of that because
Oh, I know.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well,
but
Andy, I know you and I have both teenage girls that just graduated high school.
Exactly. Congratulations, dad of a graduate.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. The thing is, what's sick too is that this podcast is almost as old as my daughter. I think what's interesting about watching the stuff from this past weekend's Rush performance is I feel like the Chuds were waiting for Annika, their drummer, to fall on her face. And I did say her because if there was anything, the only way they could get a chick to go to a Rush concert was to put her behind the drum kit. And sorry, that's a
yeah. We know the old joke.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Kurt, these are both really great. I love the Moving Pictures album and the Moving Pictures story. They sound great too live because they emulate. They're pretty much emulating their albums.
They come very close to their studio sound when they play live.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you all a question here. I'm going to poll the team here. What do you prefer in your live album? Do you prefer it to sound exactly like what was laid down in the studio, or do you prefer when they add little flourishes and they make it new or different?
Depends on the artist and the song.
What's that, Catherine?
Yeah, it's.
Oh, we just all got silent all of a sudden. I'll start asking individually. Catherine.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. Did we lose you? Yeah,
we might have lost her.
You might have lost her. Yeah, you're right. She's here, but she's not here. So hopefully she texts us in a second. Mike, I know you're not. Mike is more here as a fly on the wall to add and contribute because he's not a big live album guy. But let me ask you.
I don't have any live albums.
I was going to say, Mike, there was no Garth Brooks live album?
Oh, there was, but I just don't have it. Honestly, there's one live song of Garth Brooks that I enjoy, and other than that, I don't really care. And that's only because he added an extra.
My internet's undoable.
There's Catherine.
Yeah.
But no,
Yay.
There's like one live song where Garth Brooks added a third verse to "Friends in Low Places," but beyond that, I'd rather listen to studio albums, honestly.
Gotcha. All right, Catherine, you had gone mute, or you fell off, or I don't know what happened. But what was your answer? happened again.
Jeez.
If you leave the app, sometimes it will silence you.
Yeah. If you jump off to another like off your browser.
I was going to text you, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that will take me off too." So, all right, we'll wait and see if Catherine comes back. Yep, she dropped out. She's going to come back in. Joe.
Okay, so it depends on the song.
Okay.
A lot of if a song is like overly, I don't want to say overly produced, but it has a lot of production value or production qualities in the studio, it's not going to translate well to live. All right. A lot of songs that are very produced don't translate well to live. There are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, a lot of produced songs don't really translate. Songs that tend to be minimalist or have like not a lot of studio, not a lot of studio personnel.
Yeah.
Tend to translate better as live songs.
Yeah, I
can agree
with that.
And also being a fan, a guy who loves guitar players, songs where the guitar player gets to be front and center, I really have no problem with.
Okay.
So when Eric Clapton goes into a 5-minute guitar solo, that's like, yeah, okay, I'm all in.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm like I guess I'm kind of with you on that, Joe, because I love it when they do make changes in the songs, especially if they like the Police albums, the 2 live Police albums that were not on my list solely because they were only available on vinyl during Record Store Day. They both do Regatta de Blanc and So Lonely, but they blend the two together, and it sounds great. But that's something that you only get on the live things. The one thing I don't like when I'm listening to a live album is when they decide to do an acoustic version of a song that should not be acoustic. There are certain exceptions to that one I will get to in a little while, but yeah, for the most part, it's just like, oh, come on, we came here to rock.
Yeah. Yeah,
Here you are counting crows. So, hey, Catherine's back.
Hey.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask the question, and hopefully I can hear the answer. Live or studio? What is your preference when it comes to like if they take flourishes in a song or whatnot, or liberties in a song? I guess.
I'm going with it depends. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't.
Okay.
If I like it, great. But sometimes they take their flourish and it's like, wow, this is really lame.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Oh, what's funny too is that when you're at the actual concert itself, you're so in the moment that you really don't pay attention to the changes.
Yeah.
It's when you listen to like a recording of a concert and you start listening to like the changes, like, okay, this felt different when I was listening to it live, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is like if they're doing it and and the crowd is into it and you're into it and it's pleasing the crowd, then it's good. But if they're doing it for their own like ego and really not caring how the audience like you're saying, the audience responds in the moment, but if it's not for them,
right,
if it's not a give and take with the audience, then it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Jackie's gonna come out here, he's gonna jerk off with his guitar for 20 minutes while I go in the back and get a blowjob. Woo!
That's why I never understood the love for like jam bands like Fish and shit. It's like
I remember it might have been Dennis Leary who had a whole thing about like the Grateful Dead, like they would kind of count on their audience being high so they could just do whatever shit. I mean, some guy's telling a story later on like, oh man, yeah, the Dead were so amazing. Jerry played an invisible guitar for like 2 hours.
It's not too far from the truth, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not that old enough of a fogey. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to what Kurt has left on his list here. And I kind of am glad you brought this one up, Kurt, because I wanted to highlight this one a little bit because it, quite honestly, will never be on my favorite list. Kiss Alive. Controversial, I know, but you could feel the heat from the pyro during the opening for Deuce. You want to talk about, they tried recording a live album and it failed so horribly that they just went into the studio to record it.
Oh, God.
It is just like, it's just one of those things. I remember reading about that in the Casablanca Records book. It's just one of those things that, they shipped like 1 million copies and they sold really well. I think, I don't know if I'd consider it to be a legacy building album for them, but it definitely sold the tours. So, anywho,
I'm indifferent to Kiss. So,
yeah, I think Kiss could very well, if it weren't for their stagecraft, I'd say they're probably one of the shittiest rock bands in the last 50 years.
Oh, arguably, yeah.
Sorry, Kurt.
Yeah.
They just are. And it's what did Jim said something about Kiss. It's like, they can never really truly be legends simply because there are albums that if you bring up, they'll walk out of the room. They'll cut the interview short. So what? Shane, let's talk about songs from the Elder. Yeah, fuck you. I'm out of here. Okay, I can change the subject. Hello? So anyway, back to Kurt's list here. We only got a couple more here. Motorhead, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Motorhead Live. Need I say more? Ghost, Ceremony and Devotion, and Right Here, Right Now. Ghost during the Pope Star Tour, where I first saw them, and the concert film that they made. Both great, and a taste of their live show. Okay, I'm not familiar with Ghost, so.
Oh, Ghost! I discovered Ghost in the last year, and they're live because sometimes my playlist will sprinkle some of their live stuff in on YouTube Music, and it's actually pretty good. And they really get into it with the audience and stuff. There's a lot of audience like back and forth and participation, and that's a band I'd like to go see.
Yes. All right. Well, let's kick off our list. Kurt, thank you so much for giving us quite a bit to talk about in the first half hour of the show. Now let's move on to some of our picks. And I do, Joe, sorry. I do want you to talk about that Queen album. Normally, I'll let you guys pick whatever you want in your list first. I think you need to talk about Live at Wembley '86.
Yes, and this is my first pick for my first pick for the live album, and I picked this. Now, you asked earlier if this was Queen, if Live in Montreal was Queen at the peak of their powers, and I say no because I believe Live Aid in 1985 is argued to be Queen at the peak of their powers, and there's a good case to be made for that. It's Live Aid, it's London, it's Wembley Stadium. But Live in '86, the following year at the same venue, was a bigger show. It was humongous. Over 2 days.
Yeah.
This album was released in 1992 after Freddie, unfortunately, to take advantage of the interest following Freddie Mercury's death.
Yeah.
But it was released in 1982. It was a recording of the A Kind of Magic tour. And the Wembley shows were the culmination of that tour. And this was when the band was at their best. Musically, Freddie lyrically, he was belting it. And there's two, when it was released, the album, the CD's album was released in 1992, and then a follow-up DVD was released in 2003, I believe. And it's on the album is from the July 11th show. The DVD, the video is from the July 12th show. So they're two different completely different concerts. And it's a combination of their greatest hits along with It's a Kind of Magic, which had just been released the year before. And it is so good. Like, and the title song, It's a Kind of Magic, is arguably one of the best live songs I've ever heard. John Deacon's bass line, along with Roger Taylor's drumming, it is top notch. It is peak, along with Brian May's guitar solos. And then again, just Freddie Mercury. It is an unbelievable album. I don't think there's a bad song at all in that album. And for a band like Queen, who does a lot of production in some of their songs, the way they integrate, like Bohemian Rhapsody, the way they integrate the pre-recorded parts with the live is near flawless. So I would highly recommend it. It is probably my number one or number two live album of all time.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Queen is definitely one of those bands that, I mean, they weren't. Sadly, they weren't around long enough for me to get to go see live, solely because they weren't really touring all that much when I was, when Freddie was still alive and I was going to concerts.
Well, I mean, you kind of figured 1986 really was kind of right around the time when Freddie was really starting to get sick. Yeah, starting to really feel the effects of the HIV/AIDS.
Yeah.
So after '86, you probably they really weren't going to tour that much. And this was really kind of like the culmination of their entire career.
Right.
And the funny thing is, if you watch the video, Queen as a stage production, they really don't rely on a lot of stagecraft, just a lot of like lighting, but the lighting they do perform is top notch.
Right.
Like the lighting set for this concert, for these two concerts, was so massive that they had to drill all the way down to the Wembley's foundation piles.
Oh,
which are like hundreds of feet below ground, just to support the massive lights.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, so if you haven't heard it, I definitely give it a go. And like I said, if you listen to the album and watch the videos, they're two different concerts.
Well, I love when they do that, when they shake stuff up like that. So, all right, let's move on to Catherine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What's your first pick?
I'm going to start out with the Moxie Fruvis Live Noise, which is an album of like one of their a live tour that they were doing, where they like different cuts are from a few different locations.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It gives you a feel of being at a Fruvis concert, which I went to see them live several times. One of the times of which was at the Middle East.
Yeah.
And we were rowdy because we're from Boston and we're in the Middle East. And they're like, we're getting ready to do a live tour. And we were told we can't do Boston because you guys are too loud. You're not supposed to cheer for that. Oh, it was. Yeah, they were fun, and so there's a lot of fun bits, and they definitely they engage the audience, they bring them in, they make them part of the show, and makes it a lot of fun because it's not a big, they're not doing huge arena venues, so they can do a contest where they're like, which state has the highest point? and people are just shouting out answers. You hear, like, on the album, you hear this one guy yelling Iowa over and over and over again.
Nice.
And then somebody gets it and he comes up on stage and they bring him up on stage. And a friend of mine who had been to one of their live shows during this tour was like, "Oh yeah, they did that. We were there for that show." And I was like, "Nah, man. You were at the MIT show. They did this in like another, I don't remember which state it was, but it's like, no, they apparently did this several times."
Awesome. I know you're such a big fan of Moxie Fruvis too, so it's kind of nice that they did put out some live offerings.
Yeah, it's I do like that album. And you asked about, like, do you like it when they mess around with it or when they stick to it?
Yeah.
This is one of the times where them adding the flourish is fun.
Yeah.
It adds something. It makes it a little bit different. It adds some flavor and it engages the audience and gets them involved. Excellent.
So, yeah,
fun.
Awesome. All right. So we've already established that Mike does not have anything for his list, but I do have a question for you, Mike.
I might have an answer for you.
You might have an answer. All right. I'm assuming you've actually you have been to a live music performance, right? Like you've been to a concert before, right?
Probably not in like 20, 25 years, but yes.
That's quite all right. Most of the stuff that I brag about seeing was well over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I saw Def Leppard when all the original members, except for Pete Willis, were there. It would have been a bit even bigger brag if I'm like, yeah, man, he had 2 arms.
Oh,
but sorry, I know, but that would have really. I'm
assuming
been
that was a joke that I completely missed. So cool.
Oh, Def Leppard's drummer only has 1 arm. He lost the other one in a car accident.
Oh, okay, that's too bad.
And honestly, and I hate to say this, I don't hate to say it because I think it's a better album. It improved their sound because he had to teach himself. Well, no, I think the electronic drumming helped in their case. Yeah. Sorry. Or as I would go, too soon.
After 40 years.
Yeah. Besides that, how did you like the show, Mrs. Lincoln?
All right. So, what was the concert you did see, Mike? 20 plus years ago.
I know back in the 90s, I did go to the it was like country music festival. I think it was in like the I don't know what it's called now. It was the Tweeter Center.
The Great Woods.
Yes, it will always be Great Woods to me. I don't care what they change it. The Tweeter Center. What is it now? Is it the Xfinity Center?
Xfinity Center, yeah.
Oh fuck! Corporate Synergy sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been to Great Woods like twice.
Okay, and you went to a Country Fest or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Back when there was still like before it was WKLB, it was something else, but the big country music station in Boston, and they would have like a whole series of country artists that come once a year in summer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Now most of those guys are going to like either Gillette for Country Jam, or they're just playing like their own shows at Fenway, I think.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah, country music has definitely changed in the last 20 plus years.
Yeah, so. I do remember.
Not for the better.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing. I saw Travis Tritt and Marty Stewart during one of their tours because they always tour together. They're best friends.
Okay.
I did get to see one of my second favorite country artist group of all time, Diamond Rio. I saw them at one of those shows.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. I'd love to see Rascal Flatts, but I never got a chance, and now I think they've split. So
okay. Yeah. Well, you never say never until like a big player in the band is dead.
Right.
So.
And even then, that's no guarantee that's over.
See also Rush. So anyway,
I think AC/DC and Queen are still touring as well.
Yeah, It's funny because Bon Scott and Brian Johnson, if you're not listening hard enough, they actually sound like the same person. So, Anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna make my first pick is I tried to be different with my picks because I really wanted to do stuff that was off the beat, not only just off the beaten path, but also the playlist was very, very different. And I'm going to start with The Church, a psychedelic symphony, which was recorded live at the Sydney Opera House with the George Ellis Orchestra. There's a number of reasons why I picked this. First of all, it's The Church, who are one of my favorite bands. It is a live album that includes a full symphonic backing, kind of like back when Metallica did S&M. And not only is it a great offering of all of the songs that they are known for, and a whole bunch of somewhat newer stuff, but this is really kind of like the core four's last hurrah before like their signature guitar player Marty Wilson Piper was kicked out of the band, and then a couple of years after that Peter Koppes was also just left the band. So the band itself is pretty much the Steve Kilbey experience, who was their lead singer and bass player. But it's nice that this is kind of like, if they were going to go out, at least with the core group, this is how they went out, with this really just bombastic show that not only has great orchestral backings on it, but there's a lot of great rock on there. The guitars jangle like they always should jangle. They close it out with one of their hardest songs, Tantalized, and just the blend of the guitars and the strings in it are just so, they just synchronize so well. And first of all, it's a great way to end the show. If I actually lived in Australia and knew that this was a thing, I would have definitely gone to see this one, because it sounds amazing. Overall, the sound itself is fantastic. The orchestra isn't drowned out, nor do they drown out the band. And they really just sound like they're having a great time. So it's nice to hear that, especially with, what the state of the band would be just a couple of years later. So definitely, and this is not available on vinyl. I was very saddened to find, but you can find it on your music streaming service. I think I actually bought it from their fan club I bought the digital download from their fan club when it first came out. So if you like something that's a little different, again, off the beaten path, and you like psychedelic music, then The Church this album is really a good place you could start. If you're not starting at Starfish, this is where you start.
Nice.
So, anywho, okay, we're going back to Joe here, and what are you going with, and why am I not surprised?
All right, so for my second choice, I picked and this is kind of will be considered a heretical kind of choice for anybody who knows me, but Dire Straits live at the BBC. It was released in 1995, and it's funny because the only reason it was released was by 1995 the band had already dissolved.
Yeah.
But they still owed one record to the record company, which I believe was Phonogram, or it used to be Phonogram. I think it's Mercury Records now. But so Mark Knopfler still owed the record company one more record as Dire Straits. So he's like, all right, well, just release these, this concert we did at the BBC in BBC Studios from 1978. But I absolutely love it, because again, this is Dire Straits at their rawest. This is when they were a 4-piece band. It was just Mark, his brother David, the bassist John Isley, and their original drummer Pick Withers. And they're a tight quartet, and the version of Sultans of Swing that's on this album is my absolute favorite version of this song.
Yeah,
because it's in 1978. But by 1978, they had played the song so many times, even before they hit it big, that they knew it backwards and forwards. And it is almost just as good as the studio version.
Mm-hmm.
But just a little bit more raw, a little bit more, the band is still kind of trying to find itself, and it's that raw new energy that you don't expect from Dire Straits.
Right.
If you listen to later Dire Straits and you listen to this and you're like, this isn't the same band, but you know it's the same band and you can feel that it's the same band.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love, like I said, it's a quartet. It's not, they don't have studio, you don't have a keyboardist and a separate percussionist. It's just two guitars, a bass player, and drums, and that's it.
Nice. I love this little loophole that they find with "You Owe Us One More Album."
Right, exactly. And so they're like, okay, well, here, release this. There you go.
Or Kisses thing. You owe us 4 albums. Okay, we're each doing a solo album. All of them are going to suck, except for like one song from Ace Frehley. How's that sound? One song from Ace. All right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that. Sultans of Swing is their non-money for nothing big hit song. So I'm glad that that's the version that you as a huge Dire Straits fan has glommed onto.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Catherine, what's your next pick?
All right, the second one I'm going with is Operation Live Crime.
Ooh,
Queensryche's live show of Operation Mindcrime.
Okay. Now, is this just Mindcrime? Is it just start?
It's been a long time since I watched it, but I think they just do the album soup to nuts. Because it's a rock opera.
Right.
And so they just do the show, and they have they do, if I remember right, they do some not like full performance, but you get like some flavor of the different characters, like Sister Mary.
Right. Yeah, I think it would honestly, now that I asked that question, I think it would be a little weird. It's like the getting into everything, the getting into the story, then all of a sudden it's like, well, we got to play Silent Lucidity now.
If you ever get a chance to call into a rock station and you request Queensryche, specify specify the song or songs you want, because otherwise they're just going to play Silent Lucidity.
You don't say.
It's not a bad song. It's just an overplayed, tired song.
I was a late teenager in the early 90s. I'm well aware of how overplayed that song was.
Freebird.
Yeah, it pretty much is their Freebird for like the casuals who come in. And I mean, realistically speaking, Mindcrime is a fantastic album to begin with. Overall, it's been a dog's age since I've actually listened to this. How does it sound in comparison to Operation Mindcrime?
Similar. But you get like a live person performing the Sister Mary part, which is very moving and interesting, I think.
Huh, okay.
And Kurt comes up with, hey, the Peter Crest album fucking slaps.
Well, someone had to like it, right? Sorry, Kurt. Now I'm pulling it up right now. I'm sorry. I have to pull it up. I certainly hope that Kurt is aware that I'm
Kurt coming in with the hottest of hot takes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going on to it right now. I'm looking at the track list here, because I don't think Beth actually came out. Going to albums. I can take a look at this. Go to album here. I don't think Beth was released on this. I thought that was like one of their. Oh, I hate when it does that. All right, I love you. You matter to me. Tossing and turning. Don't let me down. Kind of sugar Papa likes. Easy thing. Rock me, baby. Kiss the girl goodbye. Hooked on rock and roll. Okay, Kurt, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree here, my friend. Sorry.
The way you
But
were
then
rambling
again,
through song titles, it sounded like you were having a stroke.
well, I mean, I'm sure that's exactly what was happening when Peter was naming all these songs. So anyway, I mean, honestly, I think like the biggest shit show out of all of them might have been Gene's solo album. But I don't know, don't care. What is he
Kurt
saying?
says Beth was on Destroyer.
Yes, it was. So it wasn't even like one of his solo songs. That would have been a great, spot for that. Instead, whatever the Ace Frehley song's like the only one that shows up from whatever. I think we lost Joe.
Time
All
for his
right.
internet to
Oh wait,
suck.
no, he's back.
No, he's back. Okay, there he is.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, we lost you.
Sorry.
Stop doing that. So, that's the. I mean, I'm getting back to live crime, Catherine. I'm glad that you you enjoy that one. I'm glad that it adds a little something different to what is a monumental rock opera.
Yeah.
Which is tough to do because let's be honest, most rock operas have a lot of filler. Good God, even Tommy has a lot of filler. Yeah, I went there. Anyway, all right. So, Mike, next concert question for you. Now, I know that you had mentioned that you've always wanted to see Rascal Flatts, but they're not around currently. Right. Is there a band? And I'm not fishing for like tickets to get you or anything like that. I'm just asking flat out here.
Not because I don't really go to concerts.
I can't afford concert tickets for myself, Mike. I'm sorry, but. Who would you want? Who is still an active performer right now that you have never seen live? Who would you go see?
You know what? I honestly don't know if they're still touring or not, but I imagine they would be. But I wouldn't mind seeing Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know. Honestly, I think that they are. They kind of like show up and they do like they'll play Foxwoods or they'll play Newport or something. They are still every once in a while they're like, well, I got to make another down payment on my yacht. What's Peter Cetera doing right now?
I know he's not really doing anything with the band anymore, but even without Peter Cetera's stuff, I mean, I love Peter Cetera's stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Even without his stuff, they do still have quite a few good hits.
And no, they do.
Songs I enjoy.
They do. You're talking the post Cetera era, right? Post Cetera era.
Was he with them from the start?
Yes.
Okay. Then,
I have a story. I have a story that is about a live album, but continue.
Kurt just comes up with Chicago is touring with Styx right now.
What a Frankenstein's monster of a tour that is, especially because I know that Tommy Shaw and Dennis DeYoung do not speak. They are dead to one another.
Oh my God. That'd be so awesome to watch.
I think that would be hilarious to watch. Oh my God, that would be. Oh man, that's almost like there was a dream that I had. My old coworker Pete and I, we always wanted to go to a Jerry Lewis show back when he was still alive, and we wanted to be removed from the audience with the security telling us, "You need to leave. You're upsetting the talent."
Why? Because you keep asking about the movie.
We keep heckling.
If I may ask, who are those two people that you mentioned?
Oh, okay. So Dennis DeYoung was the keyboard player and lead singer of Styx. Tommy Shaw was kind of like the co-leader of the band. He was the guitar player. He's the one that sang Too Much Time on My Hands, and Dennis DeYoung played everything else. But it was Dennis DeYoung's insistence that they do Mr. Roboto in full show mode that destroyed the band. Oh, it is insane. And when you listen to Dennis DeYoung being interviewed, the ego, the ego.
Come on, a rock band, a rock artist with ego. Come on, pull the other one.
Yeah. He also did that annoying thing that I found like super annoying for like bands in like the late 70s, early 80s, where they would dress up in like the uniform of their favorite baseball team, and it was like the full get up jersey, the pants with the stirrup socks. It's like you're not, the game going down the street's not going to ask you to play if they're down a guy.
Yeah.
But Mike, I did tell you that I do have a story about Chicago Live, because one of the albums that was always like, it draws your attention. It always drew the attention of everybody I know when it was my mother's album. It is Chicago Live at Carnegie Hall. It is a 4-disc set from the early 70s. And oh my God, I decided to listen to it last year in my listen of all my records. Oh my God. Remember, Catherine, we were talking about how when they want to take liberties with stuff and they just want to kind of just, hey, they're essentially jerking off their instruments the entire time. This is that album. It's like you look at one side of like disc 3 and there's like, there are no separating grooves to show a second track on there. It's like one side is like a song, because they just like, all right, now we're going to get into the wah-wah pedals, and now we're going to have the trombone give like a 5-minute solo. It's like, God damn it. I don't want to see that.
I think I remember something. One of the times I went down to Disney World during the Food and Wine Festival in Epcot.
Yep.
I'm fairly certain I recall seeing that Dennis DeYoung was there performing live.
Of course he was. Dennis DeYoung performs the music of Styx, because the only single he had after that was Desert Moon.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing it, like it was playing while I was there, but it was like, I don't care.
Yep. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God. And Kurt, thank you for telling me about that. That just brought joy to my heart. Thank you. All right. So the next up on my list is Bring On the Night by Sting. This is his first solo tour that he had done in Paris. This is right off the... I don't even think he had released Dream of the Blue Turtles yet, which is his first solo album. And it's such an ingenious blend, because he's only had the one album. So most of the stuff he is playing is Police songs. But the songs from the Police are all being played like there's a lot of jazz behind them. Bradford Marcellus is his saxophone player for his first 2 solo albums. And he is just fantastic on this album. It really adds a lot of heat to the music, especially for songs that are very, very familiar, like Bring On the Night, which is a Police song, and When the World is Running Down. But the beauty of this too is that he actually wheels out some old Police B-sides, and they sound better. This is one of those instances where the live versions sound better than the studio versions. The first is Low Life, which is, again, the studio track was very echoey. This one worked a lot better. And then I Burn For You, which is my favorite song on this album and was originally performed by the Police for the Brimstone and Treacle soundtrack. And it's so haunting. And it's just again, you're going back to the saxophone, the Bradford Marcellus saxophone, and just how it just sounds amazing. The entire album, it's a double album. It's got so much energy put into it. And it works really, really well. I remember when I first bought this. I bought this on cassette back when it first was released, and it was the weirdest packaging I had ever had. It was, like when you would buy like a double cassette, it was like that stack. It was like that big, thick brick of 2 tapes.
Yeah,
you guys remember, right? This was actually packaged side by side. It was a wide cassette case. So the liner note, you could actually read the liner notes, which is amazing. But they had put the tapes like one right next to each other, so it was really, I mean, ingenious packaging. But it's such a beautiful live album. It really hits well, not only because there's not a lot of stuff from Dream of the Blue Turtles on there, but there's a lot of good Police stuff that is it got different renderings because it's just Sting doing them and getting those B-sides. It really makes a good album, a live album to talk about for that reason. So
Cool.
Well, I'm done. Well, I have one more, but all right, Joe. Actually, you know what? Let's hit our honorables real quick before we hit our last ones. So, what do you got, Joe?
All right, for my honorable mentions, and I know this was a hot take because probably a lot of people figured if I was going to pick a Dire Straits album, this would have been first, but it's not. But it's Alchemy, Dire Straits Live. That's one of my honorable mentions. And frankly, this is one of the first LPs that I ever owned. It was a double LP. I actually bought it in Germany during the trip with my mom. Yeah. Well, because it was so hard to find here in the U.S. And I was just like, oh, and I just happened to come across it. I was like, oh, I got to get this. So, my other honorable mention we already spoke about was Cheap Trick live at Budokan. And then my third one is pull it up. Oh, Pink Floyd, Delicate Sound of Thunder.
Yeah, I remember this was a big one.
Yeah,
at least when it came out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it came out in 1988, but I just remember in 1989, everybody in high school was listening to it.
Well, of course we were, because the drama group was doing, for the summer production, we were doing The Wall. I'm not kidding. We actually did The Wall.
I know. I remember.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, I don't remember much of the album, but I do remember that their version of Comfortably Numb kicks so much ass.
Not just that song. My favorite song on that live album is "On the Turning Away."
Yeah,
that is such a beautiful, haunting song, and the guitar, David Gilmour's guitar solo at the end is chef's kiss.
Yeah. I should go find this one because I'm sure I can find it somewhere. But I remember One Slip was my favorite song on.
Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Momentary Lapse of Reason, exactly. So that I could remember because I keep on calling it the Delicate Sound of Thunder, and I know that's wrong.
Well, that's because it was recorded during the tour for Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Right. So awesome, excellent. All right, Catherine, what are your honorable mentions?
Did I
didn't really have any. No, you didn't have any on your list here. If you don't, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought about putting on They Might Be Giant Severe Tire Damage, which is another compilation with some live stuff. Talk about songs that we prefer the live version.
Yeah.
The song about the sun.
Yes.
The version we like is the live version.
Yeah. Not the one that was for the first 3 seasons of Big Bang Theory.
I didn't watch that show. No, it's the original version was like on one of their kids' albums. But then they for the live album they rocked it out, and it's like that's the fun one that I like.
Nice. All right, Mike, honorable mention. What is your favorite concert or musical artist T-shirt? I'm assuming you've owned at least one or two.
Well, I know I got the one from Steve Winwood from you.
I did. Yes, I remember. I got you the Ark of the Diver T-shirt for your birthday, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that might be the only one I got.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just to say a little piece of Steve Winwood trivia. His brother Muff Winwood was Dire Straits' first producer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell Mike, if I know you don't go to a lot of concerts, but if you ever do see Steve Winwood live, don't wear the shirt. Don't be that guy.
I wouldn't.
I had a chance to go see Steve Winwood and Eric Clapton together.
Ooh,
and I missed it.
Oh. Kurt says, I have an honorable mention. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, wow.
That is a deep cut. Woo!
That is a deep dive. Wow.
And I guess it is kind of a live thing that I do enjoy, and it just was released, and that was the Has Been Hotel live on Broadway.
Okay.
I mean, they did live performances of several of the songs from season 1 and a few of the songs from season 2. So it's not really an album, but it is a live version of some songs I really like. So sure, it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, nice.
And most of the cast is our Broadway darlings. Anyway, there were several Tony Award winners on there. So for the most part, they were very very comfortable on stage. But we did get 2 Broadway debuts. Amir Talai, the voice of Alistair, and the voice of Moxie from Hell of a Boss.
Okay.
Also did the voice of Billy from Billy and Mandy, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. He did the voice of Alpha 5. I just can't remember his name. He did the voice of Raz in Psychonauts.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway.
Oh, excuse me. All right. So for myself, I already mentioned the Police live, both in 1978 and 1983. I know Jim covets those albums. And and then I got Tears for Fears live in Montreal, 1985. This was on the heels of them just hitting big with songs from the Big Chair. And this is one of those bands that really did a good job emulating that studio sound into a live performance. It's not, the beauty is that those first 2 albums are not nearly as overproduced as the Seeds of Love album. And it sounds fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It sounds as good as the studio albums. And then I've got Journey live in Houston 1981 because, man, if there was ever a time I would go back in time just to go see a concert, it would have been Journey on the Escape tour.
Oh, that'd be a good that would have been a good concert to go to. That
would have been awesome, especially with Steve Perry in good voice. Neil Schon just rocking out, and Jonathan Cain not looking like a perverted magician. It's just yeah. So all right. Well, with that said, let's get on to our final picks, Joe. And again, all right. I'm glad I'm sitting.
To no one's surprise, absolutely no one's surprise. One of my last pick for favorite live album is, and I had many to choose from, but I picked Eric Clapton's "One More Car, One More Rider" from 2002.
The fuck you say?
I know, right? I'm shocked. Not really, but. There's that Fry. Insert the Fry meme in here.
Exactly. I'm shocked. Well, not really shocked.
The Fry meme? This is from Casablanca, you blockhead.
Oh no, that's just the I'm shocked that there's gambling going on. You're winning. No, we're talking just the I'm shocked.
The Futurama. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Not really, but
not that. No, I'm not that shocked.
Big off Casablanca. Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, yep.
So yeah, the reason I picked this is I this is from the 2001. They for the last show of his 2001 tour. It was recorded in L.A. A tour that I had gone to see, and I think this was like my third to last Eric Clapton concert that I went to. And this was when he was really still had it as a guitar player and a singer and a show, and as a professional performer.
Yeah.
Just the songs. It's got my absolute favorite version of "In My Father's Eyes."
Okay.
Which I'll be honest, I go to in those moments when I'm feeling very, very fatherly, like this past weekend.
Yep.
And then when my kids were born, this was this version of the song was my go-to on it. It also has one of I think it's its only live album that has a true rock version of Layla, not the acoustic, not the cut down version from Live in Bangladesh. No, it's got the full 7-minute rockin' solo with the end coda and everything. And it's got it's got great great musicians. Susan Tedeschi's husband, Derek Trucks, plays backup guitar for him, which is if you've ever seen him in live, he is an amazing guitar player.
Huh.
And he's backing up Eric Clapton. So it's like, oh God, yes. Thank you.
Well, that's good too, especially because it's just like, especially like with even like Clapton, Pete Townsend, you need that backup guitar player.
Right.
Townsend has been able to play electric guitar in like 35 years. So,
he's deaf anyway, so.
Right.
Quick aside here. I got a couple of messages from Kurt.
Yes.
Reminded me that the person I was thinking about was Richard Horowitz.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
He's the voice of Moxie on Hell of a Boss.
All right.
And then he also said, my dad got to see them on Escape Tour at Notre Dame.
Ooh, nice. Nice. I was 8 years old when that album came out, or 9 years old when that album came out. So there was no way my parents were taking me to a concert. Not one bit. No, but that's sleeveless shirt and Trans Am crowd. So.
Well, you're the same age as Diane. Diane told me I think that one of her brothers took her to like a Foreigner concert when she was like 9 or 10.
Yeah. My first concert was
it was for Foreigner 4.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, my first concert I was 11, and I went to go see the Police at Foxborough. No, it was in Foxborough Stadium at that point. Sullivan Stadium. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, Catherine, what's your final pick?
All right, this is just, kind of legendary stuff in my opinion. Not that I'm the hugest fan of Floyd, but I mean, this is really cool. Was the Wall live at Berlin right after the Wall came down?
Yeah.
Oh, I bought this album.
Yep, same.
Yeah. Yeah, I had somebody that I hung out with in college who was really into Floyd, and we watched The Wall and we watched the Live at Berlin show, and I definitely preferred the Live at Berlin show. It was more fun. I mean, also Tim Curry.
Right. He was the judge, right?
Yeah, he was the judge, because the judge is like big and cartoony with a big mouth, and so you're going to hire Tim Curry because he has the like that mouth that he can work like that, and he can sing. So
yeah.
And I gotta say, Bryan Adams doing Young Lust. Oh, chef's kiss. I don't know how he pulled it off, but he did.
Yeah.
He really did.
And honestly, I know this is probably like I'm probably like giving you a hot take here, but the one song I do not like on this album is the Van Morrison take on Comfortably Numb. And I just feel not so much that I don't like it. I feel like his voice, which is a gorgeous voice because he was still in good voice at this time, just feels out of place with that song.
Right, it's a rare miss on the album because the bands and performers they picked to play the other songs really kind of nailed it.
Huh.
I think.
Well, yeah, I think just the fact that Roger Waters band did a great job with that. But the song itself, which is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs, just felt off. So, anything else, Catherine? About
really, I don't have much of a personal. I personally don't have a whole lot of personal connection to it except my memories from college. But nobody else had brought it up, and I'm like, we gotta mention it.
Well, it was significant too because it was also Roger Waters' first performance of The Wall since the band broke up in the early '80s.
Yeah,
so because at the time he was like really, really anti Pink Floyd, anything to do with Pink Floyd. He wanted nothing to do with it whatsoever, because it was a pretty bitter breakup, Yeah. So it was a big deal for him to say, you know what, the Berlin Wall coming down was a significant enough event that I will celebrate it by singing this, basically the song that defined the album that defined his career.
Right.
Yeah. And also,
and it was I remember watching the concert live because they televised it live on MTV.
Right.
And
I remember watching it. It was a huge production.
Oh yeah, it was massive. Yeah, that's like I haven't listened to the album. I only watched the live show. And yeah, you get to the end of the show and the audience is just screaming, "Tear down the wall!" That was that's
lovely.
Oh, that was electric. That was electric.
That's the part that really, between that and like Tim Curry being awesome, are the parts that I remember best.
Nice.
And it's kind of funny when
35 years ago.
And it's kind of funny when you kind of look back on it, like all the optimism surrounding it. At the time. And you're like, God, 40 years later, you're like, God damn it.
Fascism is dead. Oh, wait, damn it.
Oh, God. We fucked this one up, boys.
Yep. Hey, it only took us 35 years. Woo!
No.
Yeah. Con! So.
But it's still,
awesome.
It's still an album worth talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
It is always an album worth talking about.
I don't think I've listened to it since college, so I might have to go back and check that out again. All right, well, I will close out here. No surprise, because I think this was the album that got me spurned to thinking we need to talk about these things. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band live, 1975 to 1985. 5 records, 10 years. And I think this is the box set that kicked off the box set craze of the mid to late 80s.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah. I'm mainly like, I'm not looking at anybody because obviously we're doing this remotely. But Joe, what are your thoughts on that? I'm looking directly at you.
No, I would. It's a toss up between this and Crossroads being the thing that sets it off. Because I think Crossroads was the bigger seller.
I think it was too.
It was the bigger seller and the more kind of, I don't want to say mainstream because Bruce Springsteen was pretty fucking mainstream in mid '80s America, but it's that's a good.
Yeah, I know that this was the biggest selling live recording until Garth Brooks live. So there's one for you, Mike. So, my God, this is one of those things that, like, he took the entire set opens with Thunder Road. And I had mentioned about like the acoustic versions of songs. I'm not a big fan at rock concerts. I'm doing that. This version of Thunder Road might be the exception, because it's just so heartfelt. And like I said, Thunder Road is my favorite Springsteen song, and it was just nice to not only have a kickoff, but really just get into it. The entire album is just soup to nuts. It's fantastic. There's a lot of the great. You feel like you're at the concert. There's a lot of stories. He engages with the audience probably more than anybody. I've seen Springsteen live, and to this day, it is still the best concert I've ever seen. He is just, and I saw him like 3 years ago, and he was still like, I wish I had that energy.
Jesus.
I'm in my, at that point I was like 51 years old. I'm like watching this 72-year-old man like running around the stage. I'm like, I cannot get over how
I can't do that now.
Yeah, I know. Like, God, he's spry. And still today, so relevant. He's super relevant today more than ever. But this album is just fantastic. Everything about this album has energy. It's got life. The band gets involved in everything. You can almost picture the musicians playing as they're doing it. The funny thing is too is that you can tell this was on the Born in the USA tour, like the latter part of it, because there are so many songs that would never make a live album today. From
from
Born in the USA, that you would get Born in the USA, which by the way, Aaron Lewis was very deeply disappointed in Bruce Springsteen. He felt like he was duped. I didn't realize this was a protest song. Yeah, okay, Aaron.
All right.
Whatever. But yeah, there's. I'm glad they put no Surrender on there, because I love that song. They played that at my stepfather's funeral, and I thought that was a really nice tribute to him. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bobby Jean as a song, but it's on there. Darlington County. And these are just the songs from Born in the USA that, again, you would never hear on a live album going forward, but they're nice inclusions on there. And overall, it's a great collection. And they didn't feel the need to cut a lot because they had 5 albums to work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. It's like, oh, hey, I got my double live album. No, this is 5 live albums, motherfucker. So, but that's my pick. I don't know if any of you guys have actually given a listen, but it is super good.
No, I've listened to it, so.
Oh, it's so good. I am so happy. Like my mother asked me. Yeah.
It is wicked good, and I'm not even a big Springsteen fan, and I like it.
Yeah. Well, my mother asked me this Christmas, she's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, here's what I want. Can you make this happen? And I wanted the vinyl. I wanted the original vinyl for live 75, 85, and she made it happen. So thank you, Mom. So anyway, yeah. Oh. So anyway, that is our show. That is our conversation. Thank you, everybody who contributed. Kurt, thanks for hanging out here. Thanks for taking your Peter Criss abuse. And thank you for allowing us to talk about how much Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw hate each other. I appreciate that. It's always, like I said, I'm not a musician. I could barely play, but I can talk a good game about music, and that is just that brings joy to my heart. So
and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. Knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. So anyway, it's the summer. We got stuff going on here. I know we've got vacations and whatnot, and I know like all the summer plans and stuff, but we will figure out what our next episode for July will be. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Guys, send me ideas, please. And Mike sends me a ton of ideas, and I feel bad. I'm like, you mentioned something. I'm going to figure this out here. But we'll have that conversation at a later time. But
Kurt comes up with, hey, I will die on the hill of Early Kiss.
Okay, on Early Kiss. Not that unmasked shit. The when they took the makeup off, and all of a sudden people are like losing their minds, like, oh, they were always ugly. I don't know what you were thinking. So anyway, that is our show. Kurt, thanks again. Thank you, everybody who listened in. We're looking forward to having a great summer with y'all in our 18th, going on 19th year of this show. Good God.
Kurt coming up with, oh God, fuck the unmasked kiss.
Well, I just remember, let's put the X in sex and thinking, okay, well, songwriting is dead now. But anywho, that is our show. Thank you so much for listening. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for joining us. You can check out our archive by wherever you're listening to this podcast now, including the YouTube channel, Geek Salad Podcast, where Mike and I also host our weekly retro movie reviews. In the month of June, Mike and I are talking about the Rocky movies that just hit Netflix. Will probably only be on for this month, so we're getting to the good and mentionable stuff. We got that going on. You can check out those retro reviews. You can also find us on Facebook, Geek Salad Podcast, and on Blue Sky at Geek Salad Radio. I think I got everything there. So, folks, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
Go forth, be nerdful, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye, Cleveland!
All right.